Mount St. Helens is about to blow up, and it's gonna be a fine, swell day. Everything's gonna fall down to the ground and turn gray.
It's so, it's the tiny things. It's just these little intricate details that Bill includes in his music that he can create something that is, I don't know if you'd call it pop. I guess it's sort of like a little bit poppy oriented. I don't know. I don't have a good word for it. But it's not jazz. It's not any type of like super complex style. It's a simple style, but because of the things that he's thinking about and just the little details that he includes in his writing, you get these nuggets of really cool information that you don't often find in similar styles of music that are perhaps more mainstream. And just in the first 11 seconds, we've already gotten one of those things. So let's break it down. So first of all, this song is in the key of G. It starts out really, really dead simple. We have the one chord in the key of G, which is just G. On Mount St. Helens, it's about to blow up. It's gonna be a fine, swell day. 4 back to 1. Super easy, super simple, not complicated at all. But right after that, we literally have what I think is just an insanely cool sound.
Everything's gonna fall down to the ground and turn gray.
Everything's gonna fall down to the ground and turn gray. Oh my God. We do something really, really cool here. We completely, in a sense, you could say we modulate away from G major as a home bass briefly, because here's what Bill does.
Everything's gonna fall down to the ground and turn gray.
Right there, I want you to listen very carefully for an inner voice movement that's going on in those chords. And that inner voice movement is this. On ground and turn gray. Listen again.
Everything's gonna fall down to the ground and turn gray.
That right there, that is so cool, and I'll explain why. Because what Bill's doing here is, he's gonna fall down to the ground and turn gray. This chord landing, like where we're landing on this, in a normal context, this would be the 2 of a 2-5-1. But look what we've done. We've turned this, what would normally either be a minor 7th chord or a dominant chord to function as our 2, we've now turned into a major 7th chord. That right there is resolved. It's home. It doesn't need to go anywhere else. So in a sense, you could say we've modulated to the key of A. Very, very briefly. In practicality, is that really, I don't know, does it really matter to look at it that way? No. But this chord, as opposed to that, that's a really, really normal, typical sound, right? But we've now changed it. Woo! And now we're gonna just throw a 5 in front of the next phrase. And we use that inner voice movement of the F sharp to G sharp to get us from this minor 9 kind of sound, E minor 9. Ooh, man, it's a beautiful chord, and it's just enough unexpected that you go, ooh. Like you hear it and you're like, oh wow, that sounds really cool. But it gives you enough interesting information that it catches your ear.
Everything's gonna fall down to the ground and turn gray. All of my friends, family.
And then we set that next phrase up with that 5.
Everything's gonna fall down to the ground and turn gray. All of my friends, family, and animals probably going to run away. But me, I'm feeling curious, so I think
And then here, to wrap this section up, he uses an absolutely classic chord sequence of, here we're in the key of G again. Run away. And then on, but me, I'm feeling curious. That right there, 4 to the minor 4, 3, 6. Classic chord progression. Me, I'm feeling curious, and I think I just might stay.
And slip into something more reasonable, and then dance the night away. I'm riding a pony into the sunset.
Oh Oh man, this is okay. So yeah, this is the part I think a lot of people hear and they go, what's going on here? Like what is, like, you know, what's happening? And it's really actually quite simple, and it's a device that's used in a lot of music, especially a lot of jazz standards throughout the years. And that is doing a part of the song that is completely modulated to a different key. Whether we see it for an extended period or just a brief few changes before moving away from it, oftentimes on a bridge or the middle of the song that's different, because we have those two verses that were kind of similar. So sometimes the bridge will be like a new, different part. And that part, oftentimes in jazz standards, the Great American Songbook, that kind of stuff, they would use a different key. They would modulate away from the home bass just to create something interesting, something different. And in this case, we are moving from a G major home bass to an E flat major home bass, which is a major third down. Thirds tend to be a very popular movement. Sometimes it's minor thirds, sometimes it's major thirds. Thirds in one way or another have always been a pretty popular movement in terms of where we're gonna go on the bridge, something different. And just in this case, we're going from G major, dropping down to E flat major. So we're going to major third down. And we do that with a very simple 2-5-1. I'm riding a pony into the sunset. So, yeah, so, you know, really simple, just 2-5-1. But it's such a nice change to go from G major into this new key, even if it's for a moment. But you'll see as we move forward, we go a few other places as well. And that's one of the things that just makes this tune like, whoa, every time we turn a corner, you're like, yo, wait, what?
I'm riding a pony into the sunset. Everything's green and gold, so I'm not in hell yet. And the people who work in my office went on vacation, 'cause they say that I haven't been paying them very much anymore. Mount St. Helens.
Oh man, it's just so imaginative. Okay, so here's what's happening. We have a couple of 2-5-1s in the key of E flat. Now here we switch keys again very briefly. And all the people who work in my office, they went on vacation. Now this is, it's a really cool motion, and one that when I heard it, I was like, huh, what's going on here? Because it wasn't that obvious, but when I looked back and figured out what it was, I said, that's really cool. So we have a 2-5, all the people who work in my office. But when we go to they went on vacation, we resolve right back to the 2, except it's no longer a 2. We've now turned this into a major 7th chord, and it essentially more or less becomes the 1. And our melody is the 9th. So it's a really nice resolution that you're not expecting at all, coming from the people who work in my office, they went on vacation. The people who work in my office, they went on vacation. So we're kind of immediately going into, very briefly, a 1-6, and you would expect this to continue 2-5-1, but we're only touching on this key of F center for a brief moment because we're going to jump away from it immediately. So the people who work in my office, they went on vacation. Right, we're resolving here down to the 6, but now we're going to change key again. So the functionality of what we have going on here is we actually are moving to the key of A flat. Now I know this first chord is on a B flat, and it's a B flat minor 7, but that B flat minor 7 is functioning as a 2 in like a 2-5-1. So that's more or less the key center that we're moving to. So we're going to this B flat minor 7, and you can see how it goes down to the 5, and just instead of resolving it to the 1, we're gonna change key again back to that home bass of G major. So what Bill does to navigate this is he uses something that we have talked about before, which is how do you get to a new key in a way that's gonna make sense to your ear? Well, you can kind of do whatever you want if you just throw a 5 in front of the new key. Putting a 5 in front of a modulation just helps it flow to that new key. And you'll see that we're only a half step away from where we want to be. And we end on this 5, but it's a 5 in the key of A flat. We want to be in G. So what does Bill do? He just drops it. A half step. Now we have a 5 in the key of G major. And that puts us right back to where we started and where we want to be. You have this meandering of different key centers throughout this bridge that ultimately brings us to a really interesting chromatic resolution where we find ourselves a half step away from where we want to be, and then all we got to do is just drop it a half step, play a 5, and we're right back where we are. So let's play through this bridge, and I'm going to put up on the screen the chord changes, and I'm also going to put what key we're theoretically in at any given moment. So when we modulate from place to place, that kind of gives us a new key center, a new tonal center. All that means is what chord, what key would be home base. So let's go ahead and play this along with the video, and I'll show you exactly how we're moving around.
I'm riding a pony into the sunset. Everything's green and gold, so I'm not in hell yet. And the people who work in my office went on vacation, 'cause they say that I haven't been paying them very much anymore. Mount St. Helens has...
So you can see we're going all over the place, and we're eventually finding our way back home, but we just get to hear a ton of cool things along the way. It's really fantastic writing.
Mount St. Helens has a pretty cool gift shop, and I haven't been there in a while.
So we are now back to that initial verse melody with the same chord progression. And so what you're doing is you're kind of thinking, oh, okay, you know, I'm familiar with this part again. I know where we are, and we're just going to continue. But check this out.
And I haven't been there in a while, and I've been wondering if it's even still there.
Whoa! Like, it just kind of drops out of nowhere, and you're like, your ear is just, wait a second, what? Where are we now? So check this out. What you would expect to hear based on what we've heard before is this nice little walking down bass line, right? But instead of going down to the 6, we now modulate again, but it's a callback to the bridge because look what key we're in. That's a 2-5 in E flat, exactly where the bridge started. When we got to the bridge, we introduced this modulation into a new key center, and we went through a bunch of different things. We wound up back where we started, and we started a new verse. But now that we've introduced that new key center, what Bill does is he recalls that same key center by throwing in an unexpected modulation in the middle of the verse. It's super cool. Check it out.
And I've been wondering if it's even still there.
And again, we go back to G just with a 5 in front of it. It's really great. We have the same sort of resolution at the end of the verse, and we walk back into that bridge chord progression next.
Take a ride on my blimp. Oh, it's a very strong blimp. You can watch movies and play games while riding on it. When the sun goes down.
But now we break away from it when we have this sort of, feels like everything's kind of culminating to this point. I don't know if you might call this the climax of the tune. It definitely feels kind of like that because everything's sort of been, you know, working up to this moment, and now all of a sudden we have our totally new sound. I'm not 100% sure of this. I know the first 3 chords. We go from when the sun goes down, notice we're going down in key here, A minor 7, A flat major 7, and the sky burns out. And it feels like sky burns out. That would kind of make sense. When the sun goes down and the sky burns out. Maybe I'd have to listen closer. But then we move away from that immediately into this totally new section again. When the sun goes down and the sky burns out, we'll never slow down. So it's kind of like a 5-1 in C minor there. So we're jumping around again. We're introducing a whole new sound. We'll never slow down. So we're going from G minor 7, we'll never, to C minor 7, slow down. So let's look at that section really quick.
When the sun goes down and the sky burns out, we'll never slow down. Oh, we're not going down.
And then we go back to the verse, but we're in a totally different key, but only for a second. Watch this.
Mount St. Helens is feeling crazy and adventurous.
Mount St. Helens is feeling crazy and adventurous. So we wind up back to G major, but not after spending like half a measure in the key of B flat. Mount St. Helens is feeling crazy and adventurous. So we literally just do a 2-5-1 to get us from that key of B flat back to the key of G major. Check it out.
Mount St. Helens is feeling crazy and adventurous.
And then that leads us finally into this vamp that we have to close the song out, which is just a 2-5. It's a never-ending cycle that just doesn't resolve.
And it takes no answers, and it gives no questions.
As you can see, this is just full of really, really cool modulations and just small details. They're not like the craziest thing ever, but what they do is they just make the song so interesting while still having that simple, fun feel to it that's not crazy complex jazz or anything like that. It's just straightforward, but with these components that make it extremely interesting to listen to. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.